Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kiriath, and I have found something awesome, amazing, incredible, quite possibly Game of the Year, and we're only on the 9th of February in 2017. Oh my god, I mean that's pretty damn quick, that's happened pretty early. I don't think we've really had a Game of the Year contender this early before, excluding whatever games came out in January that might be contenders that I can't remember. No, this is something new, this is something different, this is something special, something possibly flawless, something which I wasn't expecting to see, but I'm glad that I did. And I'm going to share it with you right now. It's not even out yet. It'll be out in like a day, and you're damn right we'll be covering this. Oh my god. I'm terrible at this. I really need to stop doing camera stuff. Okay, look, let's just do it. Let's look at it. Let's watch it together. Ready for this? Oh yes, you are. It's a work in progress. Obviously, it's not out yet. That would, you are, if you're thinking that just seems to be a lady with hardly anything on, you would be absolutely correct. If you're thinking that is, in fact, just borderline pornography, for some reason in some sort of dungeon, you would also be absolutely correct. Now she's dead though, now she's dead. You can play as a monster, you don't have to play as a scantily clad lady. Oh no, you can be a monster as well. I love that, cooperate, survive. Look at this, is the pinnacle. The absolute. Have we ever seen anything like this before? Oh my god. You've got to do whatever it takes to save that. Tight? Tight? I mean, the game is called Bloody Boobs. For God's sake. I think that was probably supposed to be funny, but that's if you're putting that in the trailer for your game, that's not exactly. It doesn't look great, does it? Okay, so this is it. This is Bloody Boobs. What has happened to us as a species? What is going on? So imagine that you are a young, beautiful girl with a tasty body, and it can mean only one thing: you're perfect for human sacrifice for an ancient god. That should be to an ancient god, and also. You know what, before we get into this, I'd just like to say that tight is not the word that you use to refer to a lady's upper chest area. No, tight is not that word. I've never ever in my life heard someone go, she has got a tight pair of breasts. No, that's never happened. Tight refers to, well, I mean actually here, around where I live, if you're tight, it means you won't give anybody any money. Well, I'm assuming that's not what that means. Like, if, but obviously, I accept that there is a wider meaning. But still, tight boobs? No. If you're going to stick it in the trailer, if you're going to make it all about dem titties, then at least use the right fucking phrase. Jesus Christ, it's not hard. Okay. So let's just take a look. Maybe we're being too harsh. Maybe I'm judging this based off the trailer and the available screenshots. And actually, it's fine. It's a legitimate piece of gaming genius that just happens to be, just outright featuring near naked women for the sheer sake of it. Maybe actually there's way more to it. Let's have a look. I'll even switch back over. So look, okay. So you got. Clearly, bit of dungeon, you got a monster, oh dear, bit more dungeon, another monster, oh dear, but maybe this is not all this game is, okay, so let's have a look. About this game, imagine that you are a young, beautiful girl with a tasty body, and it can only mean one thing: you're perfect for human sacrifice to an ancient god, not for an ancient god, sounds terrible for an ancient god. Try to get out of the labyrinth with the help of your teammates. Avoid traps that await you on your path. Vanish a devilish creature back to where it came from. Okay, so we're like, that's one correct sentence out of God knows how many. Key features: the atmosphere of a bygone era of horror movies of 60s and 70s. Gameplay based on stealth. Realistic physics of women's breasts and butt. I sincerely doubt that is the case. Character customization. It looked like you could. Okay. Partially random generation of the labyrinth. Also girls in tight swimming suits, blood, screams, and a lot more. I don't think I've ever before seen a game that is so reliant on one really shitty gimmick in all of my life. I really don't. I think this might be the first time I've ever looked at a game and gone, they actually only have the one thing, don't they? They really do only have the one thing. It is just the fact that the women in it are nearly naked. And it says realistic physics. I think time will tell as to whether that's true. And I suspect, rather heavily, that it is not true. And that there is no realistic physics involved. That's just the sensation I get. That's just that maybe the sensation is the wrong word to use in the context of looking at that trailer. I will also say, oh god, it's so ridiculous. Okay, so I will also say there's something that is just, I don't know whether it's a work of genius or whether this person is maybe not entirely cognizant of what it is they've attempted to create. If you're going to make a game that is heavily reliant as its selling point on just being a chick with no clothes on, which this clearly is, and let's not beat about the bush, that is exactly what this is. Again, probably unfortunate phrasing for that one. It is literally down to look at these giant norks on this woman. That is literally what the game is about. The trailer is dark as all fuck. You cannot see a goddamn thing. And in fact, I might end up, before I encode this video, actually raising the levels on the trailer, like on the recording, just so you can see what was actually happening, because I couldn't see a damn thing for half of it. So it's here is your naked woman, and here is your game. The game is dark as shit, and it's a stealth game where you need to hide. So you're going to be in shadows a lot of the time. So you're not going to be able to see the thing which is the selling point for this title. Now, of course, this could all be me just being overly harsh, right? It could turn out that actually this is a perfectly good game. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, you know, it could just be a perfectly good title. But I've got to be honest, I'm never filled with extreme confidence as to the quality and success of a title when it seems to have one selling point. Like I feel like a lot of games have a unique selling point. You know, I think a lot of games need a unique selling point, especially indie games. There's got to be something that jumps out, something that grabs you. It could be, I don't know, it could be an amazing art style. Like I'd say, for instance, Owlboy, that has got, I'd say its unique selling point is it's got beautiful graphics. Things like Transistor, I mean, I guess the combat system in a way is a unique selling point, although it's kind of hard for me to judge because I'm so biased towards that game because I like it so much. You know, I feel like every game has got something. It's got that little thing where you look at it and go, that looks cool. I want to check that specific thing out. And then it quite often turns out that everything around that unique selling point is pretty damn good as well. I'm never entirely filled with confidence and with a sense of greater vision when the unique selling point is, here is a woman without clothes on. That's a unique selling point for instance, pornography. It's not so much a unique selling point for an innovative game with unique, brand new mechanics and features. Do you see what I mean? Do you get what I mean? It might be that I'm judging too harshly and too quickly, but looking at the trailer, it looks very much like, quite possibly, some sort of Unity/Unreal Engine game that probably has no sort of real stealth mechanics at all. It kind of looks like you just hide in the dark and hope things don't see you. And I will already say that I feel that approach might be flawed as well, because in the trailer it says that you can play as the monster and you therefore, I presume, hunt down the women. Maybe it's like a what is that game? I was going to say 7 Days to Die, but it's not that. It's Dead by Daylight. Could it be that we are witnessing some sort of Dead by Daylight equivalent, whereby there is essentially an arena, a labyrinth in this case, and you have to escape by finding keys, and then the keys will open a door, and the monster is trying to hunt you down? Could it be that that's what this is? Ooh, now that could be interesting. Although it is single player as well, so that might not be the case. But it is multiplayer and online multiplayer. Either way, look, I digress heavily. It don't look great. It don't look like this is something that has had a vast amount of thought put into it. It looks like someone's bought a bunch of female models off some sort of asset store, be it Unity or Unreal, and gone, I could sell this. I'll give them different coloured bikinis. It'll be fine. I feel like, whilst I'm being heavily critical before the game's even out, that there is perhaps a precedent for games that rely on a single thing to draw people in, and that single thing is nothing to do with mechanics, nothing to do with graphics, nothing to do with design, nothing to do with innovation, nothing to do with plot, and it is in fact a naked woman. Now this could all be proved wrong, and this video is being made on the understanding that when we play this, and we will play this, if in fact it turns out that this is a work of genius, I will eat my words. I will apologise. I will hold my hand up and I'll go, I messed up. I got it wrong. I screwed up. Actually, this was a clear work of an elevated mind, and I was incorrect to cast aspersions on it, because even though it seems to just involve naked women and naff all else, it was actually incredibly well thought out. If that is the truth, if that is what happens, I will absolutely go back on what I've said here right now, which is that it just looks like a one-trick pony of here's a naked woman. But if it doesn't, then it just kind of will go to show that things are getting kind of predictable now. They're getting a little bit predictable. There are things that you can rely on in the Steam store, right? There's three distinct things. Yes, you've got your actual proper releases, you've got your decent indie games, but we see an influx of constants, I think is probably the way to put it. One, re-releases of really old games, poorly optimised, and usually they don't work very well. Those flood the Steam store every couple of weeks. Two, shitty greenlight games that have got through the system, usually through some sort of trickery, that are borderline unplayable. And three, shitty greenlight games that have somehow got through the system, usually by tricky, that are borderline unplayable and made entirely out of assets bought from somewhere else that are even, in a way, worse than number two, because at least number two tried, whereas number three literally just bought their shit, threw it in a badly placed together map, and put it on the Steam store. This, I'm not going to say that it stinks of greenlight, and that it stinks of trickery, and that it stinks of asset buying and just sticking in any old crap, but I'm getting a mild whiff. But you know what? It's going to be out. In a day and 2 hours, this game will be out, and we'll find out whether that is the case or not. And someone has the loudest fucking car I've ever heard in my life outside the window. Ridiculous. Anyway, this is I think it's the prequel video to when we play Bloody Boobs, and we'll find out whether it is in fact garbage, or whether it's simply unfortunate that the developer decided to go for the naked woman approach. Time will tell, ladies and gentlemen, time will tell. If you've enjoyed this video and hearing the sound of someone's loud as fuck vehicle turning round outside my house, then hit the like button, obviously, and subscribe if you want to, you don't have to, and maybe watch another one. There'll be one there, or there, probably right over my face. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Toodaloo.